Good morning, and thanks so much for tuning into the trade setup. I'm Neeraj Shah, and let's take stock of the global news flow first before we come to markets. By and large, Morgan Stanley is warning against bets on emerging markets rate cuts. No, we'll come to that in a moment. First, let's take stock of the global news flow. Morgan Stanley is warning against bets on emerging market rate cuts. Oil is edged higher after Saudi Arabia and Russia have curbed supplies. Indian state refiners consider paying in yuan for Russian crude, and essentially it's a question of flexibility. Keep that in mind. Microchip plans $300 million investment to expand operations in India, and Instagram launch of Twitter rival Threads is expected on Thursday. Now, the US markets, excuse me, they ended okay, flattish, maybe marginal upsides or marginal gains, just eked out gains, if you will. And this was the nature of the US trade throughout the trading day yesterday. So, very flattish kind of a move. The other cues haven't changed too much either in terms of what happened because the VIX, unlike Indian VIX, did not really shoot up. The dollar index is circa 103 and yields are slightly above 3.8. So, no changes out there. The gift nifty should be indicating a flat start. I'll be really surprised if it does something otherwise. So should be a flattish start. Okay, positive start. Okay, I am surprised. Let's put it that way. But let's wait and watch how the day shapes up. Now, the trade setup for the day today. Well, the bank nifty actually faced a fairly stiff resistance at around the 45,000 uh, 200 zone on the back of very strong call writer additions. And I think that's the key thing uh, that uh, there was a lot of supply that was coming in at higher levels. A couple of technical experts had messaged me yesterday as well that Bank Nifty is hitting a bit of a peak zone and can reverse from here. So both the technicals as well as the FNO data seems to be suggesting that there might be a case for caution building up. However, as we say, the PSU banks are seeing very heightened activity. And yesterday you saw the likes of BOB, CanBank, PNB, etc., all doing well. So watch out for that side of the market. Now, PCR ended at 1.47, the Nifty PCR, and usually the Nifty's reverse course from this 1.5 PCR levels. Another cue which speaks about whether there could be a possibility of some bit of a peak that we are hitting. The good part is that specific pockets continue to do well. Large caps are doing well. We're starting to see the kind of moves in Reliance and HDFC Bank into PSU banks as well. So that is looking okay. Yesterday, actually, small caps also did okay. The small cap index was up 1.23%. And that was a really good thing. I mean, look at the set of gainers, right? JSW Energy, BOB, HPCL, Suzlon. Those are the kind of stocks that really came to the party. And IT and pharma kind of lost a bit of ground. However, viewers, dealers say that the input costs for API companies, particularly solvent prices, have come off, and that might benefit the API companies. And real estate ancillary prices, input costs have dipped, and that might benefit those companies. So watch out for tiles, watch out for pipe companies. Those are the ones that could do really well. At the AGM, Supreme Industries talked about a 40% gain for April and May. That's quite strong, right? FIs bought about 2,000 crores in trade yesterday. DI sold about 337 crores. So the FI buying continues. And and one would say, why not? Now look at the kind of gains that have come in to or the kind of numbers that companies are posting. Yesterday, M&M Financial did really well on its numbers. Then we have Bajaj Finance, the big boy, coming out with its numbers. Q1 update. So, okay, this is too much data, but let's kind of split it up. So first, fresh loans grew 34% from the previous year to 99.4 lakh in Q1 versus 74.2 in Q1 FY23. AUM was up about 32% YOY to 2.7 lakh crores till June 30th. 32% growth. It recorded the highest ever quarterly increase in AUM, by the way. Deposits rose about 46% YOY to 49,900 crores. Now, these are the reported numbers. I know we've combined the two plates by mistake. The last 2 points are a bit of an analysis, and that is that momentum in new loans booked was much stronger relative to Q1 of the previous fiscal years, and AUM growth of 32% YOI suggests that the disbursements were strong across most of the product segments. So that's to be borne in mind. The last 2 points are analysis and not an update, but that's the key point to keep in mind for Bajaj Finance. Looks strong. Brokerages have given a thumbs up. Morgan Stanley is constructive. Jeffries has said it's a solid start to the year. So keep that in mind. So that's as far as Bajaj Finance Q1 update goes. Now let's move on to Avenue Supermarts. The Q1 update standalone revenue was up 18.1%. Uh, and that's at 11,584 crores. The revenue growth implies mid-single digit SSG in Q1. Now, this is good, but this is not really that exciting. So that's to be borne in mind as well, that the numbers for Avenue Supermarts don't look particularly exciting. It's an okay set of numbers. Um maybe the stock doesn't react too positively. Bear that in mind. IndusInd Bank might react positively. The promoter, International Holdings, has decided to raise $1.5 billion. Funds will be used to fund Reliance Capital's buyout. More importantly, IIHL will also raise stake in IndusInd Bank to 26% from 15%. Some of it might also be due to the fund infusion being done for the buyouts, but who knows, there could be open market operations as well, and that might help the stock of IndusInd. So do watch out for that. South Indian Bank, ho-hum update, advances grew 2.8%, deposits about 4.2% quarter on quarter, and a CASA ratio grew at about uh, it came at about 32.6% versus 33% and versus 34.4% YOY. So suffice to say, it didn't have as good a quarter as people would have liked it. Then the telcos. Now Vodafone Idea and Indus Tower will be in news. No, first Vodafone Idea and Indus Tower. Now Vodafone Idea has hiked base tariffs. The minimum recharge is for 155 for 24 days validity, and this is in stark contrast to the existing numbers. Now all eyes are out on Vodafone's fundraising that could happen, or Vodafone Idea's fundraising that could happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks as per market sources. And on top of that, Reliance Jio has launched the Jio Bharat phone as well. So there's a lot happening in the telco space, competitive intensity going up. But if Vodafone has taken this step after such a long time, it means they have some confidence in subscriber churn part one. And if indeed fund infusion happens for Vodafone Idea, that improves the confidence in the business. More importantly, that also augurs well for Indus Stars. So do watch out for both of these today. Then watch out for IDFC and IDFC First Bank. They've announced the merger. Now, the point is the merger ratio is 155 shares of IDFC First Bank for 100 shares of IDFC. It's skewed in favor of IDFC to the tune of 16.6%. Now, both the things may happen. IDFC may go up, IDFC First Bank may correct. I believe the latter will see a larger pronounced move. So watch out for a downtick in IDFC First Bank today. Genus Power Infrastructures has won orders worth 2207 crores for smart prepaid meters. The current order book of the company is around 4,400 crores. So there's a large order win and should do well for the stock today. Then the Adani Group stocks, GQG believes in buying more and more of Adani Group. So Adani Transmission, GQG's bought additional 3% stake worth 2,600 crores in the company. This happened yesterday. well, they're certainly confident on the asset values of some of these infra assets held by the Adani Group. And he's walking the talk, if you will. Viewers would remember the interview that he did with me sometime in the month of May. He's walking the talk. And there is more. There is a board meet on July 6th to consider a fundraise in Adani Green. So watch out for these two. Standard disclaimer, of course, that the Adani Group owns 49% stake in Quintillion Business Media, which is the owner of BQ Prime, which is the platform on which you're watching this trade setup. Now, there are some brokerage notes for which I haven't given the graphics, but just hear me out if you can. And there is, of course, views on on Bajaj Finance. Like I said, Morgan Stanley is an overweight. The target price has been raised to 9250. They believe that the strong credit track record and historical highs ROAs should actually see uh, the stock getting re-rated to 30 times FY25 PE, preferred play on the NBFC rally. Even Jeffries says it's the top stock idea in the NBFC space. But even on M&M Financial, most people are sanguine. So Jeffries hold a target price of 270. Morgan Stanley target price raised to 325. All of them say that they have done much better and steady performance as that. There is a view on Hero MotoCorp also on the launch of Harley, priced at very attractive levels. Uh, can it actually bring about some traction? Because this is the most affordable Harley Davidson bike in the country. Let's wait and watch. I think it'll be interesting to see that. There is HMA Agro, which is listing today. People say they are constructive on that. Some smart money is constructive there. So do watch out for that as well. And lastly, for anybody who's thinking that the equity rally for the long term is done, I have two news for you. One, there is this lovely presentation from Anna Jeffrey's note, which speaks about how Indians are invested across asset classes, right? And it'll come up on your screen. Uh, Property, as you see, is an overwhelming 50% of the household assets of the country. Compare that with equity, right? And that's a measly percentage, much, much lower. And that's the point. Look at the second last, which is the light blue one, percentage of household assets in equities. That's 4.7%. No, and that just shows how underinvested Indians are in equities and how there is a long, long way to go. Well, I must say, I've taken a bold risk and try and put out a number on what the Nifty will do. It hits our website today, that opinion piece from yours truly. I'm making a strong forecast. I'm going out and saying that up ki baar Nifty 50,000. It'll hit the website today. I hope you find it interesting enough to read it. But if that is indeed the order of the day, then uh, then you are not wrong in staying invested in the Indian equity markets. I'll talk in some detail about this article tomorrow on Trade Setup, but you might read it on our website today in any trades. Um, Talking point today with Unmesh Sharma of HDFC Securities. Sometime later in the day, he's head of institutional equities, of course, at HDFC Securities. Sometime later in the day, we'll do a very interesting conversation with a company which is making electrolytes for electric vehicles, Neogen Chemicals. That's at about 2:30, I think, or 2 o'clock. So that's a conversation you might not want to miss as well. And sometime today or tomorrow, we'll play out the first episode of the new season of Alpha Moguls. So that's the other thing that you might want to tune in for. Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup today.